Stepp Cemetery, Halloween 2025. I was genuinely thrilled to have the opportunity to conduct an ITC session there that day. Not only is this a location that's close to my heart, but it also marked the first real field test use of a brand new device, the IDC-2K Reaper. The IDC-2K Reaper is the brainchild of ITC engineers J.W. Prather and Austin Maynard. And I'll say this plainly, if you ever need a custom ITC device built for specific conditions or experimental goals, I can't think of two better builders working right now. These guys don't just assemble boxes, they design tools. With the kind of ITC work I do, travel becomes a part of the equation. Sometimes that means flying overseas, and if you've ever tried to travel with a larger boutique ITC device or anything relying on lithium batteries, you already know how quickly TSA restrictions can become a serious obstacle. So when I came to JW in Austin, I gave them a challenge: build a compact, multifaceted ITC device capable of multiple experimental configurations while allowing the battery system to be removed entirely so it could meet all TSA guidelines. They delivered. What they built wasn't a off-the-shelf novelty or mass-produced ITC unit. It's a serious research tool. And if you're serious about ITC, you need to be serious about your equipment. So for all of you spirit box junkies out there, if you're interested in some of the features of the IDC-2K Reverse Reaper, let me go over some of them with you really quick. It randomly scans 3,450 different frequencies. There are dual pre-FX input-output jacks. There are 3 post-FX jacks, including amplified and non-amplified routing. There are dual headphone outputs for either like the Estes method or the double-blind ghost box method, with one jack that mutes the speaker. There are independent volume controls for the tuner, microphone, and amplifier, with post-mixer balance to protect the speaker. There's also the reverse speech delay pedal, front-facing IDC indicator lights in case a entity directly interacts with the box, you have a visual indicator. Techromancer's device Reaper circuit with 100 pre-programmed audio effects, a removable 12-volt rechargeable ion battery, and a removable XR1 Ghostbox module by Technomancer's Devices. What all of this means is that no matter where I'm working, what country, what frequency bands, or what experimental setup I want, I can travel with a single device that adapts to the environment instead of limiting it. For the majority of this session, the device was set to reverse speech. That's an intentional choice, an added layer designed to reduce radio contamination and challenge pareidolia. It's not about proving anything. It's about tightening the conditions and listening more carefully. So essentially the box that these guys collaborated on is badass and one that's designed to be used thoughtfully. Now, before we get to the session itself, if you want to understand the real history of Stepp Cemetery, beyond the internet myths and recycled ghost lore, I strongly recommend reading the article A Requiem for Baby Lester, and I'll include that link in the description. Because this place, it's feisty, and it has every reason to be. Between the decades of fabricated stories, vandalism, occult thrill seekers, and loads of outright disrespect, it's no surprise this location pushes back. The frustration I sense here doesn't feel like it comes from the ghost. It feels like the accumulated weight of human behavior, especially the damage done to the cemetery over the years. Just a quick note about using brand new ITC devices for your sessions. In my experience, it usually takes several sessions before a device really begins to settle in. Even then, there's often a 10 to 15 minute window before responses sharpen and become more confirmatory. That's why I was genuinely surprised that this session felt conversational almost immediately. I went there with no agenda. I wasn't chasing names or validations. I just wanted to listen and to understand how the device behaved in the field. And what came through felt responsive. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Kinda? I understand. Okay, so I only want to invite positive spirits that can help me with this location. I don't want to hear from anybody negative, anyone that could cause me negativity at this moment. And I only want to speak with entities of higher vibration. And I also welcome any of my technicians, Patrick, Jacob, Vincent, if you can help me with this session. You know what day it is? Yeah. This is a brand new device. I hope you like talking to it. Trying. I know you're trying. I appreciate your effort. Yeah. Can you say where we're at right now? Like the name of this place? Where am I? You know, it seems silly for me to come to these places anymore and try to talk to ghosts. Do you feel like ghosts are real? You know, the idea of a ghost. At this point, I commented that I sometimes feel silly coming to locations and trying to talk to ghosts. And I meant that honestly, because over time my understanding of this work has changed. While I still believe that special locations give special ITC results, I no longer see ghosts as a primary focus. If discarnate human spirits exist, I believe they're just a small place of a much larger spectrum of consciousness. Limiting ITC to the idea that we're only communicating with dead people severely limits what this work might actually access. ITC isn't about ghosts. It's about communication with intelligences of an unknown source and origin, and whatever form that intelligence takes. Does anybody remember me from being here before? Anybody remember me? You do? How do you feel better now that the cemetery is more protected by security? You know, I was really upset with the amount of vandalism that used to happen out here. Do any of the spirits here actually appreciate all these gifts left for baby Lester? Do you feel it's like some sort of tribute and ritual just to the lore that maybe gives you power? Or do you think it's silly? Am I asking too many complex questions? Complex questions for a ghost box?
And I don't mean that the meaning for a ghost box. I mean just more difficult for you to speak through.
Here comes a moment in the session where I'm asked about something that happened to me the night before. The response mattered because something had happened. The night before the session, I'd been feeling emotionally compromised by a situation that happened that was completely beyond my control, but I was hurt, distracted, and wasn't grounded. Despite that, I still chose to open myself up to a deep meditation using hemisync style inducing frequencies without taking proper precautions. In that vulnerable state, something slipped through. Whatever it was not passive, imagined, or symbolic. It felt intrusive. It felt like an abusive, psychical attack. And it crossed a boundary I hadn't properly protected. I won't go into graphic detail. It's private, but the experience left me shaken and painfully aware of how real these interactions can feel when conditions aren't handled responsibly. It was my fault. That moment reinforced something I can't stress enough. When it comes to ITC, mindset matters. Whether you're using an ITC device or not, intention, grounding, and protection are not optional. They're essential.
I had a crazy experience last night in my sleep. Can anyone tell me who was behind that?
Yes.
Well, please let me know. Okay. What do I need to do about that? This need to be louder. What's the name of the baby here? What was baby Lizard's first name? Do any of my interactions?
So no, that wasn't radio chatter. Find me a radio station that delivers curse word responses like that, and then we can talk.
Any interactions have anything to do with education? Scared the shit out of me. How's that? Is that better? Once again, can you tell me the name of this day? Bigfoot.
You'll hear many references to Bigfoot during my sessions. If you're familiar with my work, you'll recognize that as one of those reoccurring signal words, markers that tend to appear once communication stabilizes. Whether tied to local lore or something else entirely, these references often function as acknowledgments of contact rather than literal statements. The longer you work with ITC, the more those patterns reveal themselves.
Appreciate that. This forestry has squatchy energy, doesn't it? Very Sasquatch energy watching me right now. You already tired of me? Do you have any messages for any of my friends? Do you have any messages for me? Can any of my technicians help with this? Am I connecting with anybody right now? Here? Which one? Vincent? Appreciate you. Vincent, am I talking to positive energies right now? Do you have any words to ask me or say about the cult that used to meet out here? Yeah, what was the name of the cult? What was the name of the cult group?
If you want to understand the lesser-known history of this area, including the cult activity once tied to the Morgan Monroe Forest, you'll need to read the article that I mentioned earlier. If there's anything genuinely haunting here, I don't believe it has anything to do with Baby Lester. If something lingers, it's far more likely connected to what people did here, particularly the rituals associated with the Crabite cult. That's where the real story of Stepp Cemetery lives.
Anybody else want to talk to me? I'm going to go another minute and a half. Do you want me to stay longer or cut this shorter? Yeah. Into here? Yeah. Into here? Okay. All right. Duly noted. I appreciate your time. I hope nobody comes out here in Shaolin with any bad intentions. People suck. I hope you know, though, every time I've been out here, I've tried to be respectful. All right. Yeah, well, I'm glad you know. All right, well, thank you very much.
If you're interested in the history behind these locations, the technology behind the sessions, or the larger questions surrounding ITC and consciousness, you'll find more of my work at Paraholics.com, and for a deeper dive on ITC, please visit and subscribe to Obscuravox.com. This is not about chasing ghosts. It's about listening, experimenting, and trying to understand what's actually responding and why. Thanks for spending some time here with me.